Hi. Today I'm going to talk about ethics of documentary. People spend lots of their time on movies, analyze the shot, exploring the hidden codes, but there's always one genre of film they seem to ignore, which is documentaries. However, it is hard when the director doesn't have full control over what is happening, and it would be hard for them to take perfect shot. But there's an elephant in the room when people talking about documentaries, which is ethics. People usually get confused and mixed up with morals and ethics. So let's start with the definition first. So Merriam-Webster defines moral as considered right and good by most people agreeing with a standard of right behavior, and ethics defined as the discipline dealing with what is good and bad with moral, duty, and obligation. Well, basically, another word, moral is a standard of principles determined by society, and ethics is a standard of principles determined by the individual. In documentary film, there's a set of morals and ironically referred to as the code of ethics. And these are the principles that the directors have to follow to make sure that the picture keep its integrity intact. For example, the director must not affect the subject's life path. Filmmakers can't pay the subjects for their use in the film, and everything involved with the film story must let the subject represent themselves. There are also many more like examples and rules like this, but these are just the biggest three. However, these rules can be understood and defined very vaguely. For example, the directors can't pay for the subjects to film because it's a part of the code of ethics, but the director can take the subject to lunch or dinner without violating the ethic code. The code of ethics is purposefully vague, which is just for the director maintain the artistic integrity of the film because everyone defines ethic differently. The line can be very blurred. One of the example of the vagueness of the documentary code of ethic is the HBO series, The Jinx. The director withheld evidence against Robert Durst, which caused huge controversy and debate over the ethics, and it's also the reason why the series is renowned. Subjects themselves give the film to film them. In documentaries, characters are being followed are not characters. They are not getting. Characters are being followed are not actors. They are not getting paid in this industry. Without their permissions, audience will not see any of the subject in the film because this is not just an ethic thing. It's also the law. Most of the times, the filmmakers and the subject would become friends during the filming. An example of that is Aaron Wiggins and Deborah Becky's 2014 film called Almost There. They spent 8 years filming with the subject, which is named Peter, and they became friends to Peter. They became to Peter's good friend, and they are still having good relationship with each other till now. What people might be aware and must remember is that in documentary, the person behind the camera is just as much of a character as the people on the screen. The 2002 film Stevie, directed by Steve Jakes, is a good example of the subject and filmmaker's relationship. Well, when the film was released, many people questioned ethics of Steve because Steve included Stevie's incarceration in the film, and many people thought it was a violation of Stevie's privacy. But Steve argues that he didn't want to hide Stevie's wrongdoing because he was who he was and he did what he did. It would be a disservice to not show his full character. This is a good example of how ethics work in the world of documentary film. It takes two sides of an issue and brings them up and open to let the public discussion. Thank you.